Hey everyone, welcome back to another Anime Kingdom review. See by the title below, yes, this is on episode 12, the final episode of DanMachi Gaiden Sword Oratoria. And yes, I know, I'm sorry that this is several days late. If you have not been up to date with my Facebook and Twitter, I've been sick, you know, all last week and this week. I still do kind of have a cough, but finally found the time to, you know, be able to. I'm not as bad anymore, so I am able to make this video, which is why we are here now. How did I feel about this episode? Was it the finale I was expecting? Honestly, I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, I expected there to be action, but the action in this episode was just, it was honestly I was pretty hyped throughout the episode. Like, I was at the edge of my seat just wanting more of that action. Like, it's pretty crazy how much action there was in this episode. It was like more than half the episode was just pure action. And I mean, considering last episode, you know, it was build up, we got the start of the action, everything, it was to be expected that there was going to be some action, but I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I actually really, you know, ended up enjoying it in this episode. Because literally from the start, we find out that plant thing. I thought at first, you know, in my last review, I stated that I thought it was that one girl from before. Ends up not being, as we do see here later on in the end, and it ends up being a corrupted spirit, which isn't, it was super strong for one thing. They barely could take that thing out, you know. And if it was that hard, and it's actually guarding something even darker and lower in the lower levels, which ends up being like a, I don't know, I'm not too sure, like I think it is a god or maybe a demon or some sort. It's called Enyo, but whatever it is down there, it's probably something scary. We saw, of course, like, what's it called, in this episode as well. Throughout this, the second half was kind of just more of a showing everyone like all happy, everything progressing for them. We saw, you know, a little bit of Belle and stuff. We saw Uranus talking to that one hooded guy, and it kind of seems like Uranus, it actually is not a bad guy. He's actually sees the threat that is down there, and he's kind of using the Loki Familia, but he does see that threat and he's trying to protect them, as Enyo will, of course. He's a destroyer of cities, or her, I don't know what it is, destroyer of cities, and will, you know, is planning to destroy that whole city. So that's definitely a threat, obviously. But yeah, pretty much ends up being a corrupted spirit. It starts like that one part when it was chanting against Reveria chanting. It was pretty damn hyped up. Reveria creates a shield. She's able to handle the damn meteor blast barely. But then all of a sudden, the damn corrupted spirit's like speaking like 500 words a minute. I'm over here like, why didn't that corrupted spirit do that for the first spell? You know, was it testing them? And literally destroys Reveria's shield. We got to see more of Gareth in this one as well. Still wanted more, like I said in the last one, but he's just a pure tank. Dude's a beast, honestly. Grabs both shields, like, you're not gonna get through me. I mean, it kind of did, honestly. But like later on too, when the whole wall was of vines were blocking their way and their weapons would not break through, and over here he just comes down with his axe, starts breaking it. It stabs him in the damn abdomen, and he's just like, that ain't shit, man. Rips the thing open for them. I'm over here like, holy shit, dude. That guy is just he is the definition of a tank. He just takes everything, and he's just like, I'm still good. I can still go on. That ain't nothing, really. And I was just like, damn, okay, yeah, I actually would love to see a side series. I keep saying this. I'd rather have DanMachi season 2, like a pure, you know, a true season 2 to the original DanMachi. But after all that's done and everything, I actually would not mind seeing like a side kind of story to showing, you know, Reveria, Finn, and Gareth, because they're pretty damn badass. In this episode alone, it showed their badassery with Reveria using her, you know, magic abilities like 10 times better than Lefia. I mean, Lefia definitely, you know, she did a good job in this episode, and without her, they would not have won. They would have lost. So good for her. In the heat of the moment, in these battles, she's not irritating, I'll say. When it's out of the battles, like at the end of the episode with her going all like, oh, can I stay by your side to her? Yeah, that part irritated me. But whatever about that part, the action part, she at least, you know, was helpful. And, you know, she knows how to use her spells good. So, like, I can't say anything bad about her when there is action, at least, you know. But everyone chipping in, going forward, fighting Finn, going like demonic and shit. Like literally, that part was pretty damn badass. Like that whole just went straight up like, oh no, it's everything's going bad, and then badass, 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 badass. Like literally, this is one of the best action scenes I've seen in quite a while, and just seeing everyone like doing their part, leading up to the point where Eyes comes down, about to destroy it, and just boosh, destroys the dang thing, and then GG, all's well and good. I'm not too sure if she got the answer she wanted. We know that it's a corrupted spirit, and the spirit wanted, it was calling her Arya as well. But I feel like the weird thing is with the end of this episode, it doesn't really give me the closure that I want, considering the fact that it feels more like I have more questions than answers by the end of this episode. The action was intense. It was, the action that I would expect in a finale, in a final episode. But the second half, it kind of was just like, hey, yeah, we're all good, everyone all happy. The whole thing with Uranus was actually really interesting. That's the one part of the story that I find really intriguing and I want to learn more about. And then the rest of it was kind of like, it showed a little bit of Bell and stuff, like I said, with him and the rest of his crew and stuff going through the dungeon, and then everyone else doing their thing, looking familiar, celebrating and talking a little bit about it as well, and then all the girls all happy together at the very end. And that was of course the final episode. Overall, I would say that the action pretty much, like, that was a finale. But the way it ended is definitely more of, you got to go ahead and read the light novel, because if you want to know more of the story, and that by the end of this episode you're not going to know much more, you're going to have more questions, like I said. You're going to have to read the light novel, or there's going to have to be a second season. But like I keep saying, I'd rather have a second season of the original DanMachi first, and then of course Sword Oratoria can come a little bit after. But overall, I do, like I said before, I do have the light novels. I have the first one. Have not read it yet because I want to kind of watch this first. So I'll probably read that and then go on and keep reading the series as well. And then I'll tell you guys how it is, if anything, if it ends up being really good as well. But yeah, how did I feel about the overall season? Since we've talked about the episode, let's talk about the season overall now that we are finished with it. I gotta say, when I first saw this, I was kind of disappointed in the fact that it was not a true season 2. It was a side story instead. And the way it started off, I'm not going to lie, I was actually just wanted to drop it. The first several episodes was just, it was bad. And then it slowly got better and better to the point where these last several episodes have definitely actually, I was really interested in wanting to see every single episode. That's how good the season ended up becoming. So sure, started off slow and bad, honestly, not gonna sugarcoat it, but by the end of it, I give it a 7 out of 10. The beginning part definitely lowered the rating, and I still have to say that Lefia is still super irritating. Sure, she, during the combat scenes, like I said before, she lives up to her expectations, and she's not just a heavyweight they have to carry and defend. But overall, throughout the season, her personality as a main character, it just drives my rating down, because I really do not like Lefia at all. It just seems like you have her there as just wanting to follow Eyes everywhere, like, oh, let me be with you, and then getting jealous of Belle, and just being such a fangirl that it gets so irritating. And when those episodes that it focuses on her and there's no action, it just literally makes the episode that much lower. Like, if it doesn't have her, a lot of the times it's this high with Eyes, but when it has her, it drops. And then when it has a huge focus on her, it's like off screen. It's just horrible in my opinion. But overall, I still give the season a 7 out of 10. I still thought it was good overall. After you get past the first episodes, it gets a lot better, and the story is interesting. The characters develop more with Eyes and everyone else. The action is honestly one of the main things that I really did enjoy about the series. It had a different type of action in comparison to the original DanMachi, but both of them I absolutely loved. The music, soundtrack, as always, I did love as well. It definitely had that DanMachi feeling. And overall, if there was a second season of this, I would definitely watch it. But like I said before, I would rather have a second season to the original DanMachi first, and then have a sequel to this later. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say, guys. Overall, hopefully there will be a second season for the original DanMachi, now that hopefully this did well as well. Like I said, hopefully this does well, because if it does, maybe we'll get a true season 2 later on in the future. I'm not too sure if that's ever going to happen, but if it does, trust me, it's going to be awesome. I've read the light novel already after what happens after the original DanMachi season, and it's definitely something that you're going to enjoy. At least I did it for sure. But yeah, that's all I got to say. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If there's anything I missed and you want to talk about, comment below as well. And if you did enjoy it, feel like, if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. And as always, guys, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Good, bad. How did you feel about this episode? How did you feel about the season overall? I want to hear your guys' thoughts. And yeah, till next time, guys. See ya.